All right. We are just before chapter 55. Um, and just because the last two questions and answers were kind of interesting, I thought we'd jump back to where the questioner says, to be here and now, I need my body and its senses. Okay. You see, the good thing to learn here is when we make assumptions about knowing something, quite often we start off in the wrong direction. And this is what this guy is doing. To be here and now, see, he is the here and now, right? And so to be here and now, I need the body and its senses. To understand, I need a mind, right? So you see, he's making double wrong assumptions there. That he needs his body and senses to be the I am, which is not true, and that I need a mind in order to understand. It's quite the opposite. It's in silent mind when you're not using it in thought, when thoughts are not coming out of imbalance, that your nature becomes self-evident, becomes obvious to you. So you see, when we start our spiritual life, we start in a direction thinking we know where we're going. I need to do more of this. I need to start doing that, right? And really what needs to happen is you need to understand you're not the doer. That takes care of a lot. That takes care of a lot of your assumptions. Anything that you say, I need to do X, Y, or Z, if you just lop off that doership, you really just have one option left, and that's to accept, right? That's to surrender. And that's the only thing that you can do. if even that. But I actually think the only thing we can do is place our attention. I think that's the only function we have that we can actually do. I think that's the 10 feet of rope that Ramakrishna talks about with the goat and free will.
Swamiji,
Yes.
you need the silent mind anyway, right? Even if the mind, no mind, but silent mind. And just the body, even to be get the awareness.
No, no, the body is in the mind. And the mind that you are, all right, there's two minds, right? There's pure mind and there's disturbed mind. You are the pure mind. That's why you know your mind is noisy, right?
Always.
You sit in silence always. Your true self has never done anything but meditate perfectly, right? And it's sitting there with all of that. But you have put your identity in noisy mind, in Shakti.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you're surfing the waves of your mind as a thought among thoughts. And so that's this world. That's what we're doing right now. We're surfing the mind, the noisy mind, as a thought among thoughts. And so what can a thought do? A thought really can't do anything, right? The dream world is a perfect place to see that. The dream world is made completely of thoughts within the local mind. And so nothing can be done in there. Thoughts can move thoughts around, but what actually moves? Nothing. Just ripples, disturbance, right?
But
And so
Maharaj, I had a question.
yes.
In terms of placing the attention, but isn't that when what exactly does that mean? Placing the attention, whether to me it means like, oh, okay, I'm placing the attention on the I am or on the image or on the name. And that is effort, right? That is what our sadhana or the spiritual practice is. So where does the no doership come along? Because this is the whole journey of sadhana, and this is what breeds the frustration that, oh, I didn't do it enough, or and then surrender is I find the only answer. Okay.
Yes. Yes, that is the only answer. That's the only thing, the only power we have, seemingly. This is sort of a green thought still. I'm still rolling it around, but it seems true because Ramakrishna says we've got 10 feet of rope within which we have free will. Well,
I don't think we even have that.
yeah, I would agree at a particular level, but I think at the level that he's teaching us, we do.
Okay.
We seem to be able to place our attention or our awareness on whatever we want to. And so really what we should choose not to do is to not put our awareness on anything. To put our awareness on the nozzle of the hose where all the water is coming out. Become aware of our awareness. That's the real thing for the Jnani. For us with bodies and minds, well, he gets into it here. Let's let him answer these questions. Oops, I just did something. There we go. All right. To be here and now, I need my body and its senses. To understand, I need a mind. Maharaj, the body and the mind. Okay, get this. This is quite interesting. The body and the mind are only symptoms of ignorance. It's a symptom of your ignorance, right? So your body and your mind are only symptoms of ignorance, of misapprehension, right? I had to look that word up to try and understand exactly what he was saying. Misapprehension is the wrong belief about something or wrong understanding about something. So our misunderstanding or misapprehension of what we are has created the symptom of a body and a mind. He says, behave as if you were pure awareness, bodiless and mindless, spaceless and timeless, beyond where and when and how. Dwell on it, think of it, learn to accept its reality. Don't oppose it, and don't deny it all the time. Keep an open mind, at least. Yoga is bending the outer to the inner. Make your mind and body express the real, which is all and beyond all. By doing, you succeed, not by arguing. Okay? So it's by practicing that you're going to succeed, not by arguing. Your answer is not in the mind. That is such a big clue right there. The answer is not in your mind. It is not an arrangement of thinking. It's not a philosophy. We are trying to understand or to know what we are. And the best way to know what you are is to shut up. Shut everything up. Stop all the noise in the room. Missy mind, who's always going, yeah, this is what you are, and this is how you feel, and this is what you're thinking, and this is what your body's doing, and this is what you ought to do, and this is where you ought to be, and this is what's wrong with you, and this has always been wrong with you. So Missy mind is blah, 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 blah. Just give her a shocking slap, or him, a shocking slap, right? And be quiet. Say, shut up. You know nothing, literally. You make it all up. Shut up. Right? And then just enforce that shut up. Every time a noise comes from that, So really, if people were doing their job, if you had a room full of meditators, every now and then just around the room, you'd hear, up, up. And so this is what needs to happen. So he needs to just keep coming back to that, coming back really, since Bindu started off in such a nice question and a nice direction, shut it up with the here and now, right? Busy the mind being aware. Busy it with being aware. When it says, oh, my toe hurts, think of the whole foot. And then think of the foot and the ankle, and then think of the ankle, the foot, and the shin, and then the knee, and then the thigh, and then the hips, and then the stomach, right? Keep broadening your awareness. Anytime you find yourself sticking to a particular anything, broaden, get bigger, right? Don't let that particular create a narrative, because that's what always happens. When you pick a particular, it creates an imbalance. A narrative's going to come from it, right? And then you're off and surfing. So you don't want to go surfing. You want to broaden your awareness always. Return to the awareness of awareness, which is the awareness of everything, everywhere, all at once. Just like that movie title, which was a great movie, by the way. So dwell on it, think of it, learn to accept its reality. Don't oppose it, right? Don't argue. Don't say, don't find anything wrong. Don't find any shoulds. Don't find any don'ts. Just keep accepting and expanding. Right? And try to expand that awareness as much as possible. The questioner says, well, kindly allow me to come back to my first question. How does the error of being a person originate? Right? That's one of the most useless questions because what are you going to do with the answer? All right. Okay. So Maharaj says, the absolute precedes time. All right. Now we see the absurdity of the question. What are you going to do with that? The absolute precedes time. So that which is unchanging and absolute is before time. Now that's an illegal statement, but there it is. That's how we have to talk when we ask questions bigger than our mind. The absolute precedes time. Awareness comes first. All right. So awareness is the original. The original. A bundle of memories and mental habits attracts attention. Okay. So, mhm, mhm. See, it's nonsensical. This is why that's a silly question. Because we don't have the tools to understand or the tools to even get an answer. And so when he gives an answer here, he's having to break all kinds of rules, right? Awareness comes first, okay? We're preceding time. How do you know that if there's no time? How do you know what comes first and what comes second if there's no time? Right? So we have to make an assumption that we're in time, even though we're talking about something that precedes time. He says, so awareness comes first. Well, how do we know who's first in a world of no time? Right? So we're making an assumption again. A bundle of memories and mental habits attracts attention. Okay? But it's impossible. Where did the bundle of memories and habits come from? That suggests time. Memories can only happen in time, right? Habits can only happen in time. And so, somewhere in pre time, there is a bundle of memories and mental habits that may be, we could think of it as mother's hodgepodge. Uh, Ramakrishna talks about how the Divine Mother has her little hodgepodge bag, with some spices in it and maybe a couple of rupees and just whatever, a junk drawer, a Holy Mother's junk drawer. And so what he's saying here is that the infinite, this absolute, this awareness, pure awareness with no objects in it, so it's everywhere present all at once. There's no objects in it, so it's free and silent, pure. But somewhere in there, there's a junk drawer, a hodgepodge bag that the Divine Mother has. And this gets attention. The awareness now, instead of being an even flow of universal silent awareness, now has a particular boink. There's a thing that's got boundaries and now separate from the whole. So there's an awareness now of another, of something, of an object. So we've now moved out of awareness and into consciousness, right? Awareness now becomes conscious of other. This other thing that's there. It attracts attention. Awareness gets focused, and focalized. I don't think that's a word. It gets focused, and a person suddenly appears containing those memories and habits, right? That's really what a person is. A bundle of memories and habits, or limitations and restrictions, as Vivekananda says, right? So you are that bag of hodgepodge, right? So the person suddenly appears. Remove the light of awareness. Go to sleep or swoon away, and the person disappears. The person, Vyakti, flickers. Awareness contains all space and time. The absolute is the avyakta, the non-person, the non-particular. Right? So there's a lot of clues there, but that's a very high space to inhabit. It's again in our little practice, coming back to where we started. Start from the particular and expand to the universal, and make that your habit. Anytime you find a problem, right? Expand. Remember my story of being in college, and it was my last final. It was a history final, and the night before when I was studying, I'd already taken 7 finals, and just had studied my head off, which probably isn't true, but nonetheless, I was exhausted from studying and I couldn't do any more. And so that night, I literally just went to bed. I was like, I'm not studying for one more thing. And I just went to bed. You know, those good college age decisions that we make. So I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and I'm walking to the history exam. And I'm like, I am in so much trouble. Of all of the things not to study for, a history exam, you know, that's the only thing that really needs study, to get all those dates and numbers and people's names, which I can't even do in a room, you know. So walk into that thing and I was sitting there and I just started giggling to myself because of how absurdly wrong I was, and just realizing, and I sat there and I thought, you know what, in 5 years, this is going to be funny, right? In 5 years, this is going to be funny. And that's the technique. That's how you live in this world, right? When the particulars start to tighten your shoulders, expand. Get out of the focus of particularity, expand a bit. Take everything in that's in the moment, in the awareness. We're always dealing with troubles, and look at how many we've come through, right? I learned from Swami Prabhupada, if you wait long enough to make a decision, no decision is necessary. Yes, life in a monastery. Yeah, so this is the thing. You know, you learn from it, but what do you learn from it? I'm not sure that you just watch, you just be aware. Just be aware. But expand, keep this expansiveness happening because you are the container of the whole thing. You're the dreamer. This is yours. You're here not because the Divine Mother placed you here, although in some language that is true too. But you're here because you love it. You like it. And you're having the problems that you're having because you love them. You enjoy them. And the puzzles, the constant motivation for change, the constant sense of accomplishment, you know, the little delectables that are there on the prasad plate. We love it. And that's the first thing you have to accept. You love your situation. Now, part of that situation may be the idea that you don't love it, but you do. If you didn't love it, you would have let go of it long ago. Right? If you didn't love it, you would have let go long ago. And I speak of this with a little bit of weird experience because, you know, this was the first thing, and it's first thing in AA too, you know, of Alcoholics Anonymous and Drugs Anonymous and all those other things. I've gone to exactly one meeting as an invitee, mind you, but I went to that one meeting and I was so impressed. People were so real and just so present. I was like, this is what church is supposed to be. You know, there was no pretenses going on. Everybody there is an alcoholic. Everybody knew it. Everybody accepted it. And they were proactive. Everybody was there to help each other go forward. It was a very beautiful experience. I was really happy that I went. And this was, anyway, that's not important. Um, my ego's getting all insecure because oh my God, they're going to think you're an alcoholic and you're going to AA. Which, if you want to think that, go ahead. I'm not going to fight with it. I got enough ego issues. But but the first thing I had to accept in with my depression was that I liked it. That's almost impossible to accept about yourself because you're like, what? That's ridiculous. How can I like this? And I was like, no, stick with it. You like this. Now embrace it. Go inside, embrace your depression. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Accept it. Love it. Serve it tea. And ask it, what do you need? How can I help you? Right? And through that acceptance, through that knowledge, I like this. This is something, instead of living in a resistance to it, where I'm always trying to push it away, which is how you experience depression, right? You resist it and you're like, oh God, my life is so horrible, right? Instead, accept it. You like this, and now find out why. Go into it, hug it, be comfortable with it in a very genuine way. It's like Hafiz. I keep saying have tea with it because that's how Hafiz talks about it. To embrace your inner self, be friends with it, whatever pain it's in, whatever disgruntled nature it's in, whatever space. Accept it, love it, embrace it fully, sit down next to it, and wait for it to tell you its secret. Wait for it to tell you how it's serving you. Learn its truth, right? And I found out that in my depression, part of the reason I loved it is melancholy felt like knowledge to me. It made me feel like I understood something depressing that the whole rest of the world hadn't figured out, right? And that my melancholy was actually a knowledge, and that just that gloom of existence was feeding an ego need of mine, a need to be special and separate, and that I understood. And if the whole world could understand me, they'd be depressed too, right? In this weird space. And so your life right now is not being done to you. Your life is not being done to you. This moment is the sum total of all of your desires. Millions of choices that you've made have presented you with this moment. And every one of those choices was made out of love, the love from your Satchitananda, right? So what you have to look at is, what do I love? Because the things that I love are what are creating my moment. And if my moment isn't perfect, then I haven't learned perfect love yet. And so you have to look around, say, wow, so this is the sum total of my choices. Does it matter to me? You know, what if I was just suddenly sitting in a field with nowhere to go and nothing to do? Could you exist in the moment in the field? Of course you could. It would be delightful, right? Even if it was snowy and cold, you could accept that. Feel the cold on your fingers and your legs, right? It's an exercise in acceptance. Broaden, 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 and understand it's a dream. Everything is okay. Everything's okay. And it was one of those exercises that I went through in Colorado when I was building my faith in Mother's ability to take care of me in the moment. And I just decided, as you know, not to worry about money, just leave it to Ma. I didn't even ask. I just would kind of share my bank record with her. This is the situation, Ma. And then I would move on. And I remember one night laying in bed, which is when I do a lot of my thinking, anything but go to sleep. I was laying there thinking and wondering, okay, so if you really don't worry here, Mother's not obligated to feed you and clothe you and give you shelter. She's not obligated to do that. And if you surrender to her, you're surrendering to that reality also. She may feed you, she may take care of you and give you shelter and clothing and food, but she may not. And by surrendering it at her feet, you have to accept both of those, right? And so I started a series of imaginings. I was like, okay, first of all, here I am in this room. If I close my eyes and let the room fall away, let everything fall away, that sense of me is still present, and it's okay. That me, that center of me is okay. And if I throw everything else away, that center of me is still what I have. And I thought, I could take this me, I could be under a bridge. I can surrender to that. You know, I could be one of the homeless guys in the park, sitting there singing off key to someone else's guitar. I could do that, right? As long as we have that sense of me content, the me surrendered, I'm all right. I can take whatever comes. If I know that that love exists, if I know that nature is real within me, that this sense of peace, this sense of silence is the one real thing, I can abide there, right? And so this is what we're trying to do. Find that sense of abiding peace that is you and live there. And then this tent of desires that you've put up around you becomes less and less a part of it, less and less important, right? You dwell, your surrender is not an action of letting go. It's the action of falling into your divine reality. Because if it's about letting go, you're going to be facing the wrong direction. You're going to watch everything leave you, and the ego's not going to stand for that. So you turn around and fall. That's pure surrender. Fall. And what you're you the fall into? Satchit Ananda. So just release and fall into yourself. Because that's all you need to do. Cease your doing. Your doing has created your observed moment, right? But your isness has given you any of the peace and joy of this moment. Turn around and look at that and fall into that. Let go of the measurements of the particulars, the series of five, right? The senses. Let go of this world. And so he starts the next chapter, give up all and you gain all, right? Let go of the particulars that create narratives, that create imbalances and hungers. The questioner says, what is your state at the present moment? Now, mind you, whatever Maharaj says here is the truth of your state of the present moment. And he says, a state of non-experiencing. In it, all experience is included, right? And this takes some silence to understand. What is it to have a state of non-experiencing? Well, you begin to understand that you're a thought among thoughts as long as you're an experiencer, right? You live as the thought of yourself. If you enter into a state of non-experiencing, right, you deny being a thought among thoughts, and you turn around. This is the world that has to be let go of. You turn around from it. You don't pay attention to what you need to let go of. You pay attention of where you're falling when you let go of, and you're falling into the silence, into that peace that passes understanding. So a state of non-experiencing. So you turn your back on the senses. They're your source of experience. You turn your back on thoughts because those are another level of experience. In it, all experience is included, right? You are the one who can experience everything. Just like you are the projector of a movie, you can play any movie, right? You can play any movie, and you are playing any movie. You have become all of this and are playing millions of people's movies. Can you enter into the mind and heart of another man and share his experience? Oh, goodness gracious. Maharaj, no. Such things require special training, right? So it's possible. It's not a stupid question. But it's an egoistic question. Only an ego would be interested in doing such a thing. But Maharaj says, no, such things require special training. I'm like a dealer in wheat. I know little about breads and cakes. Even the taste of wheat gruel I may not know. But about the wheat grain I know all well. I know all and well. I know the source of all experience. But the innumerable particular forms of experience that experience can take, I do not know, nor do I need to know. From moment to moment, the little I need to know to live my life, I somehow happen to know. Right? So this is knowing the source of all things. This is becoming aware that you live as a thought in the world of thoughts, and to understand that just like a thought in a world of thoughts, the waking dream and the sleeping dream are of the same nature, right? And so you see, there's nothing to do, nothing to be done. There is no problem. Everything is perfect. I am at rest in my cosmic bed, dreaming a dream. There's nothing here for me. But there's nothing but the expression of divine love. Now, I can enjoy that, and that would be a very healthy thing to do, right? That's learning to look through everything, understanding this is all a mind. Whose mind? This is beauty. Where does the idea of beauty come from? Whose mind is so beautiful, right? We think of all those potentials of the particulars. They're all expressions of an internal reality, right? So everything outside of yourself is an externalization of an internal ideal. What you think of yourself, you experience in the world around you. It reacts to you. Why? Because it's scripture. The world around you is scripture. And it gives you the right answer in every moment. Discomfort when you're going in a wrong direction. Some degree of inspiration when you're going in the right direction. And peace when you're in the right place. Right? All right. Can you enter the mind? No. So but he's saying here, that you don't need all of this stuff. Just be the experiencer and know that experiences are only combinations of 5 mixed with some memory. And those memories are just memories of combinations of 5, right? So your taste, touch, hear, smell, and see, everything that you've ever longed for, desired for, thought of was just a combination of those 5 things. How boring. Let it be boring. Become uninterested and start wondering about that which is looking through the 5 holes. What is peering through the world through the 5 holes of senses? Who's peering through the hole of eyes? Who's peering through the hole of ears? Who's peering through the hole of touch? Right? To look at what's on the other side. Well, the other side's just a mirror. You're just going to see your own eyeball looking back at you when you see it as it is, right? Questioner, your particular existence and my particular existence, do they both exist in the mind of Brahma? Of Brahma? Maharaj, the universal is not aware of the particular. Okay? That ultimate truth is not aware of the particular because there is no particular for it. It is, and that's all it's aware of. I am. There's steps beyond that, but why mess with them? The universal is not aware of the particular. The existence as a person is a personal matter. A person exists in time and space, has name and shape, beginning and end. The universal includes all persons, and the absolute is at the root of and beyond all. Questioner, I'm not concerned with the totality. My personal consciousness and your personal consciousness, what is the link between the two? Between 2 dreamers, what can be the link? Right? What can be the link? Questioner, well, they may dream of each other. Maharaj, that is what people are doing. Everyone imagines others and seeks a link with them. The seeker is the link. There is none other. Right? That in you, which is seeking, is your link to everyone. By knowing that seeker, by becoming aware of that seeker within you, you become aware of it in everyone. And you see the substrate, right? Like Ramakrishna told Vivekananda, have you seen God? Yes, and I see him now, even more clearly than I see you. Right? So Ramakrishna was aware of the seeker, aware of that light within him that asked all the questions and watched the mind and watched the body. And he knew that seeker to be everywhere present. And he knew that that same seeker was in Vivekananda and was driving Vivekananda's quest and asking Vivekananda's questions. Right? Yes, I see him now more clearly than I see you. Right? I understand who I am, and I am you, and you are me. I see the seeker. I see the one in everyone. Surely there must be something in common between the many points of consciousness that we are. Maharaj, where are the many points? They're in your mind. You insist that your world is independent of your mind. How can it be? Your desire to know other people's minds is due to your not knowing your own mind. First, know your own mind, and you will find that the question of the other minds does not arise at all, for there are no other people. You are the common factor, the only link between the minds. Being is consciousness. I am applies to all. Right? So soon as you stop seeing yourself as a body, you will stop assuming that everyone else is a body. When you start assuming that you're spirit, you will assume that spirit is everywhere, right? Because that will become obvious to you as soon as you let go of the structure, the shape and form, the shape and name that you assume about yourself. That assumption is incorrect, and that assumption is what has led to all of the other problems. I am a particular, separate and apart from the whole, and therefore everybody with a similar form or a similar range of light in your mind is assumed to be separate. But you're the dreamer. Everything in the dream is yours. Everything. Right? Questioner, will the supreme reality, right, the Paramatman, or the Parabrahman, may be present in all of us, but what use is it to us? This guy must be American. If it doesn't have a use, what's the point? Everything has to be used. What is the use of it to us? Maharaj, I can only imagine. Maharaj, you are like a man who says, I need a place where to keep my things, but of what use is space to me? Or I need milk, tea, coffee, or soda, but for water I have no use. Do you see that the supreme reality is what makes everything possible? But if you ask of what use is it to you, I must answer none. In matters of daily life, the knower of the real has no advantage. He may be at a disadvantage, rather. Being free from greed and fear, he does not protect himself. The very idea of profit is foreign to him. He abhors accretions. His life is constant divesting oneself, sharing, giving, right? What use of it is it to me? That's what's gotten us in our terrible situation. All of climate change, all of the wars, all of the greed, everything that makes the news is the disadvantage. It's the wrong thinking, the wrong assumptions, the misunderstanding, the misapprehension of what our very first thought about ourself is. Right? I am all of this. Peace Pilgrim, right? She says we can't have world peace until each one of us has inner peace. So she didn't go out preaching about the evils of war and about how to fix governments and who to vote for. She knew that's irrelevant. Go inside and fix yourself. Go in and find peace within yourself. Detach. Accept. right? Who would imagine that detachment and acceptance could be the same idea, right? Accept everything, embrace everything. When your moment seems to be imperfect, this I'm talking to myself very clearly right now. This is quite a wonderful piece of truth. You know, accept this moment, accept how you feel about it, love how you feel about it. Pay attention to how the feeling is and what the feeling is, and let that make you aware of the feeler, right? It's irrelevant. The particulars of this moment are irrelevant. So don't focus on them. Expand. Bring everything from the moment in. Stop ignoring the large part of the moment that you're ignoring. Stop excluding the large part of the moment that you're excluding. Stop resisting that part of the moment which you have determined you don't like. Expand. Stop being limited by your thought. Stop taking your thought seriously. It has nothing to do with you. Expand. Expand. Let that love that's coming out of you expand. Let it express. Watch it express. Watch what it inspires in your mind. Watch what it inspires in the movements of your body. Expand. Keep getting bigger. Keep getting bigger. And just like Nisargadatta says, somehow in every moment, he knows what is necessary. Don't be afraid. Nothing can hurt you. Become the crazy bag leader digging through the trash on the corner. If you know who you are, you won't care at all. You'll find a humor in it. Here I am, the divine reality, digging in a trash can. and, you, and you start giggling to yourself, and the people start walking even a bigger circle around you. Who cares? You're free, right? You know the reality. And you'll sit down with another homeless person and share the food that you have. We've seen those stories. People who have nothing are sometimes the most generous people around, right? Those endless YouTube videos of people going around doing good for homeless folks and finding out that, they gave that homeless folk $100 and immediately he gave 50 to his buddy so the two of them could get a hotel room, matching hotel rooms for the night. Because that's your nature. Your nature isn't a cold body that needs a room. Your nature is expansive. It looks at what you've got available and it just naturally expands that, does good with that as far as it can reach. That's what you are. That's your nature. That is what will be liberated on this imagined day of liberation. Your ability to love is what will be liberated. Your ability to be wise is what will be liberated. Your being is what will be liberated. Right? That's what liberation is. You'll be able to love endlessly, freely, equally in all directions. You'll always know what the right move is, what the best thing to do is, and you'll never need to change a thing. Because in that place you see the perfection. The world is exactly as it should be. Everybody is experiencing exactly what they must experience to let go, to transcend, to expand. Right? The whole world is pointing at it constantly. The you that is experiencing it. Everything that you look at needs the looker. Everything you touch needs the toucher. Everything you hear needs the sounder. And that is you. You are the origin, the source, the point where everything is, always. Timeless. So the questioner says, if there is no advantage in gaining the supreme, then why take the trouble? Maharaj, there is trouble only when you cling to something, right? Only when you have a particular, only when you're holding on to something. And sometimes holding on looks like resistance. Depends on which way you're looking, right? When you're holding on. When you hold on to nothing, no trouble arises. The relinquishing of the lesser is the gaining of the greater, right? So stop paying attention to the lesser, the things you're letting go of, and start paying attention to the greater, the things that you're moving toward. Give up all, and you gain all. Then life becomes what it was meant to be, pure radiation from an inexhaustible source, right? That source of Satchitananda. So you'll be a pure radiation. That's a wonderful way to think of it. Because radiation comes out all around equally, and it's an expression, a constant outgoing, right? And so we spread that we are that light. Being aware of that light, we see the infinite reach of light. We're not concerned with what it's illuminating. So the trouble is only when you cling to something. When you hold on to nothing, no trouble arises. The relinquishing of the lesser is the gaining of the greater. Give up all, and you gain all. Then life becomes what it was meant to be, pure radiation from an inexhaustible source. In that light, the world appears dimly like a dream. If my world is merely a dream and you are a part of it, what can you do for me? If the dream is not real, having no being, how can reality affect it? Maharaj, while it lasts, the dream has temporary being. It is your desire to hold on to it that creates the problem. Let go. Stop imagining that the dream is yours. Right? So really it's consistent. Each thing that he tells us to do is a not doing. Let go. Let go. Let go. Right? Let go, let go, let go. Hold on to nothing.
So Maharaj, when he says the dream is not yours, is that like a natural happening of the cosmic, like mother's dream? And is that what he's saying?
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah. Identity is one of the names of God. I should have written down where I read that, but it was about several, it might even be years now, but at least several months ago
so
that I
the
read.
particular is the name of the universal? Is that what you said?
Yes, yes, yes. It's yes. It's because God is love that she attaches, all right? And she can attach to anything that she's in proximity to. And when she attaches to that thing, she imbues it with her nature, Satchitananda. And so it exists. So you have what? This bundle of limitations and restrictions, the divine self, that which you worship, has attached to it and is now worshiping itself without knowing it through this bundle of attachments, this bundle of restrictions and limitations, right? You're a not in nothing. And
So like he said, the stamp of I am is God, or
yes, that
is
is the only thing, that which is unchanging in you is the only thing about this dream that is real. The dream is irrelevant because it can play every dream and it can be every dream. Whatever that dream might be, it can think up whatever it wants to think up. But that's the point. There's nothing there. It's a constant flow of unrepeating change. How will you stand anywhere in that? Let it point at you. Let it remind you that all change can be seen because you are not changing. All sounds can be heard because you are silence itself. Everything can be experienced because you are the experiencer.
But here it's saying that this life that one is leading is not, in a way, is not in your hands. Am I understanding it correctly?
Yes, it is not in your hands because you still think you have hands. It is you. It's not outside of you. It is you. It's an impossible jump to make. It's only by grace that the bubble of ego pops. But because the ego, which is the only thing that we know, because it's the only thing that can know it,
Yes.
it's the problem that has allowed for everything that we love, in one sense, that we think that we love anyway. The ego is what allows us to experience God, right?
So
And
therefore, accepting everything that comes, right? It kind of flows from that.
absolutely not. Just don't even be plussed by anything that comes. Whatever it comes, welcome it in as if you had invited it and expected it for a long, long time. Ah, you've arrived. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. All right. We'll stop there for the morning.